Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How's everybody? All right, while we're waiting for everybody to come in, if most of you have not finished your worksheet, take a look at that, please. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. I kind of have a family crisis going on. All right, we're still missing quite a few people. And only one person has turned in their worksheets. So I'm gonna get bonus points for that one, and everybody else should be working on. Thank you, Chris. Where is it? don't know. I keep telling y'all to use class time to do classwork, and yet you still don't do it. All right, this worksheet is due. I particularly want to go over how to fill this out at the bottom. So I'm going to run through that today and do some practice. I have a second assignment for you to do in a little while. So if you're still working on this one, you got another 15 minutes to get that one submitted. Other than that, continue to read this page. And like I said, we're going to be practicing this a lot because then we have to go from monohybrids crosses to dihybrid crosses. So I need to make sure that you know how to do this correctly. That worksheet did not require that you talk about, read the boxes. So the next exercise will require that you know how to read the boxes. So there's one thing to do the box, another thing to read the box. All right, so like I said, give you the next 15 minutes. I'm going to do attendance, and those folks who aren't here are absent, not just lately absent. All right, but we are going to practice doing Punnett squares today. So if you haven't done that worksheet, this box is very helpful in showing you how to do this. It also explains how all the ways we have to define it. We have to talk about the ratio. What ratio do you get? What results do you get? So you need to be able to say that you get homozygous dominant, heterozygous dominant, and homozygous recessive. That's how you need to be able to describe these. And you have three ways that you can be dominant, but only one way to be recessive. All right, we got two more. Like I said, in 5 minutes, everybody else is absent. They'll just be late. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. If you just came in, one, you should have your camera on. And two, you need to be completing the worksheet that came before this particular lesson. All right, so in a little while, I'm going to walk you through how to do the next activity. Let me go ahead and do attendance now. One more got under the radar. Akari, do you use the school issued laptop? Because you never show up on GoGuardian. I always know you're here because I have to look back on the screen. I see you logged in, but you're never on GoGuardian. Always have to check before I mark you absent. All right, Jocelyn, what are you doing that is being blocked? Nothing should be blocked. You don't have to go to the link. Everything that you need is in the assignment box, all the reading. So don't click the links. I purposely put the reading part of it in the assignment box so we don't have to worry about being blocked. All right, so I got 4 of you who have turned in no work and sitting there not doing anything. Like I said, folks, late is going to be late, and I'm just going to stop giving any extensions for late work. If you're not going to work in class, your work is just going to be marked late accordingly. Because some of y'all log in just to be logged in and then doing other things. This is the only class I have this problem with. Everybody else shows up, does their work, and I'm not calling parents all the time. Isaiah, I'm about to call yours. All right, let me do this attendance and then I will. And when you do the attendance and mark them absent, that's when they go, oh, I'm supposed to be in class. All righty. Oops. One. Okay. All right, I got another 10 minutes to work on that sheet, and then I'm going to go over the new assignment. I'm trying to get this camera board to show up. And now that it's shown up, it's done it 3 times. Okay. So let me do it this way. All right, so first thing I want you to do, okay, your time is up, time is up, time is up, time is up. So I need you to download a worksheet. So y'all need to stop working on the one you didn't work on last class to pay attention to this one because I'm going to actually walk you through the first part and then let you do the rest on your own. So you want to go, let me view this as a student so that make sure that everything is everything. All right, everybody pay attention. Those of you who are not on camera need to get on camera so I know that you're paying attention. All right, so you should have this assignment. Check your home page first. So let's look on the home page. All right, it says Punnett Square practice questions. So you want to click on that. In fact, so while you're clicking on that, let me make sure I put it in the module. Hold on. You bring that up and I will have one person who's turned in their work for today. From last week. And folks, again, I have to keep warning you. We are a test class. You cannot sit back and take 3 days to do an assignment. We have to keep going. We've got a lot to do. Some of you haven't done the progress learning activity either. Okay, let's look at it from here. All right, so now it's in the module. All right, so you have a worksheet. So hopefully you downloaded the worksheet, and I'm still looking at half the class that's not on camera. And folks, I don't have time to force you to do what you're supposed to do. This is your grade. All right, so this is the worksheet. I have taken the first question and I put it on a Canva screen. So I'm going to work this first question with you. We're going to go through all these steps, but you download the worksheet first. So let me change my screen so I can make sure that you are looking at, okay. All right, so the directions are to write the parent genotypes, list the gametes for each parent, complete the Punnett square, state the geno ratio and the phenotypic ratio. So that's a lot of vocabulary. You got to know what genotypes are, gametes, ratios. You need to know what all of that is. But let's start by, I'm going to draw I think I'm going to draw. Working with Canvas sometimes is kind of difficult. Let me erase that. Well, I'm just going to draw it over here. All right. And as you can see, my hand is not steady. Okay. And actually, since I drew it so big, I'm going to do it like this. Like this. So when you draw yours will be nice and neat. Mine is not neat. Okay. All right, so those are the general instructions on the side. You have to do that with each problem. Each problem, like I said to you last week, with these genetics problems, they are word problems. So they tell you, give you some information, and you have to translate it. So for number one, it says in a pea plant, tall is dominant. So they've given you a capital T, and lowercase t is short. That's the general information for pea plants. Pea plants. All right. The situation is we are going to cross, which means we're going to match one parent with the other, a heterozygous tall plant with a short plant. All right, so we have to go back to what I was showing you in, okay, let me go back here just for a second. Come out of that. Let me go back to, all right, again, you've got to know your vocabulary in order to do the assignment. All right, so if we are looking at a box like that, all right, now there you're looking at a different, they're looking for color. But if we're looking tall and short, we could use the same thing. This is heterozygous, where the two letters are not the same. Okay? The two letters are not the same. If it's homozygous, the two letters will be the same, which means they're both either capital letters or they're both recessive letters. There's two ways to be homozygous. Homozygous dominant, you have two capital letters. Homozygous recessive, two lowercase letters. Okay? All right, so in our project, we are looking at heterozygous tall plants. So that's one parent is going to be tall, but they're heterozygous tall, which means one of the alleles is recessive. And the other parent is a short plant. In order to be short, being that short is recessive, that's telling you that that person has to have two genes for short. Okay. Now I got all that information just from that one sentence. Okay, that's what you have to be able to do. You have to be able to take the key that they gave you and use the letters that they give you. So if they tell you that the characteristic of tall is you're going to use a capital T, that means it's dominant. If you're going to use characteristic of short is using a small t, that is recessive. Okay? In order for the recessive trait to show up, you've got to have both of them. If you have one tall and one short, tall is going to show up. Show up means the phenotype. Okay, what we've written is the genotype. The genotype is big T, little t, and short t, or little t, little t. Okay, after you set that up, so so on this line up here, you need to write down that the parents, these are the parents. So on this line, and I can't write it too small, but you want to write big T, little t, and little t. So you do have to write on the line and little t. My lines are too small to get that in there. All right, I could have typed that though. All right, so that's what you want to write on the line. The gametes. All right, the gametes, these are the gametes, okay? Same thing. So the gametes, you can just leave it as the box. So when in the space in between here, you could have drawn the Punnett square. In fact, that's what it looks like on your worksheet, where you have room. Hold on. Let me get back over here. You have room on your worksheet to draw the box, and drawing the box will symbolize what the gametes are. Okay, so you have space right here to draw the gamete, or you have space over here to draw your Punnett
It's
square.
not
So
letting me
drawing
draw
your
on
Punnett
it.
square, it's not letting you do what?
It's not letting me
You're gonna have to
draw.
download it as a document or to save it to Kami. Okay, if you save it to Kami, then it might let you write on it. Hi, Miss Card. Okay. All right. Is that working for you now?
Um, I'm trying to
Okay.
download it, but whenever I download it, it saves it as
And some of
a
them,
Chrome, like a different thing. I can write on it, but I can't draw on it.
okay, I tell you what you do. Um, create another document. See, Chris is already in. What what it's doing? I'm sorry, Chris. Talking with Miss Card. It's showing Chris in the waiting room, but Chris is already in class. And it's been doing that to me all week where students are in class, but they're sitting in the waiting room.
Gotcha. Yeah, those other students, they were hanging out. So I don't know why. Yeah, Chris is still sitting there. I don't know if he tried and had to get out and come back in. Maybe that was
No,
the problem.
he's been in all, it's been doing that. And sometimes when I let him in, it duplicates it. And then eventually it catches itself and it'll eliminate the duplicate.
Gotcha. All
But
right.
yeah, some of those folks were just playing late because I did attendance and they weren't here.
Gotcha.
All right,
Yeah,
but
I was just trying to get back in.
Thank you. Y'all have a great day,
all
guys.
right, thank
You
you.
too.
Sorry about that, folks. But y'all got to come on time because once I start, we've been doing a lot. So let me stop sharing for a minute so I can correct the attendance. But in the meantime, you in Canvas, you need to download this worksheet. It's in the folder. It says Punnett Square Practice. I am walking everybody through it. So download that worksheet. And I'm going to do question number 1 with you. Akari says upload it to Google Docs, Chris. If you upload it to Google Docs, then you can write on it. Okay. All right. Thank you, Neve. I did wait. I waited 15 minutes before I did attendance. And I tried. All right. Let me fix this for everybody. Let me stop sharing for a minute. So for those of you who came in late, make sure you download that worksheet, and then I'm going to switch back to the demonstration I was doing on Canvas. So yes, download it in such a way that you can write on it, or create a separate document that you can write on, and just make sure you're numbering it and addressing it as such. All right, so who we got? We got Dallas, and we got Neve. And now we got Charlie. Okay. And Desiana. Okay. All right. Got it. Okay. All right, so download that worksheet. And I'm going through question number 1 to show you how you're supposed to answer these questions. And hopefully you're better with using your tool than I am. And you'll make nice, neat little boxes. All right, so what I was explaining, let me see. With this, so these are the directions, these are the general directions for all of the questions. Okay, for each question, you're going to have to write down what the parent genotypes are. You're going to list the gametes for each parent and complete the Punnett square, which is what we're doing here. State the genotypic ratio and the phenotypic ratio. All right, so that means you have to understand what the vocabulary words mean. Genotype means what genes do they have. In this particular question, they're talking about pea plants, and we're talking about being tall or short. If it's going to be, they're going to use a capital T for tall, and it's a capital T because they tell you it's capital T. They're also telling you that it's tall is dominant over short. That's what it's telling you. You're going to use lowercase t for sure. You usually use the letter of the dominant trait. So since tall is dominant, we're using T's. Don't use S's. I don't want to see any S's on here. We're using capital T for tall and lowercase t for short. Okay, so so when it asks you, what are the parent genotypes? One parent is heterozygous, and then which heterozygous tall is what it says at the top. So that means they have big T and a little t. If they're heterozygous tall, that means the two genes or two alleles that they're carrying are not the same. Homozygous means they are the same. So if it said homozygous tall, I would have written 2 capital T's. The other parent that you're crossing with is a short plant. In order to be short, it's recessive. You have to have both the same letters. So on this side is our short plant, and those are 2 lowercase t's. Okay, as far as the gametes are concerned, you don't have to write them on the line. You can just add in your Punnett square, just circle the fact that each of these is a gamete. Okay, remember when we did meiosis, we said at the end of meiosis, we produce 4 cells. So we're looking at during meiosis, this one this one gamete can combine with this gamete, and we show fertilization by putting them in the box. So we're going to put that big T with this little t, and that's one possibility. So when we talk about ratios, we're looking at the possibilities. All right, in this next box, we have a short t, and then we have a short t over here. So during meiosis or fertilization, these gametes are going to form two short t's. Now I'm doing question number 1 for you, so you should be doing it with me. All right, next box. This T up at the top and this T on the side, that's our gametes, and they are going to come together and they're going to form a big T and a little t. And then we have this one up here at the top and this one on the side. So that's a little t and a little t. All right. So we've written the parents, we've identified the gametes. And this one's not saying male or female, but sometimes you can say the top is the male and the side one is the female. So we've identified the gametes. We've completed our Punnett square, so we've done step 3. Now we have to state what the genotype is. All right, and we do that by looking in the boxes, and we say, right now we have big T, oops, that's a little t. All right, big T, little t, and we've got 2 of them. Okay, and there's 2 of those. And over here, we've got a little t, and we've got 2 of those. Okay, that's your genotype ratio, 2 to 2. And then you write a ratio. You know how to write a ratio. You've done math. You always express ratios like that, 2 to 2. And everything has to add up to 4, because we've got 4 boxes, 4 gametes, 4 possibilities, 2 to 2. Okay? Another way to say that is 50-50. So we can say, sometimes they do it like that too, as a percentage. This is more of a ratio. This is more of a percentage. We can say that as well. Half of the offsprings can be one thing, and so and this is going to be, and then this is, make this look like it's, all right. This is going to be heterozygous tall, because tall is dominant, and these are going to be short, homozygous short. So let me write that. Let me type this. And Chris, I know you're in class, but they still got you up here in the waiting room. Or easy. There you go. All right. Christopher, you really gonna?
I'm trying to get everything down and split screen things.
All right, we're looking at genotypes. So our genotypes are, and let me see if I'm going to type this, because this is kind of hard to do. The genotype
How am I
here.
supposed to set this up?
What do you mean, how are you supposed to set it up?
Like, how do I type it on the doc?
You should be able to, and I can't do it on the worksheet because that requires me to be doing something else. But okay, hold on. Let me see how I can do that. All right, let me see. That's not you. Give me a second. If you upload it, like he said, as a Google Doc, you should be able to use your tools. All right, somebody else try to help me out to tell you how to do this. All right. Let me me, so it's not switching screens for me. Okay, give me a second. I have to share a different view. And if you download it as a doc, you should be able to use your tools. He said download it and then press the file that says Google Docs. You hear that, Chris? And then once you do that, you can actually insert, one of the ways you could, oops, this is not the one. There we go. It is not looking at what I wanted to look at. Okay, this is it.
I did it from the other thing that I had it as.
Okay. And what you can insert, what you can do, let me see here. You can insert a table. And you want your table to have, let's see, let's do it like that. All right. And then we want to just move this table so that it fits. Not there. There. All right. So you see what I just did? So up here, I can put, and I got too many columns now. So let me, okay. I'm gonna delete the whole thing and start again. Delete. You want to delete a column. Oops. Okay. All right. So, all right. And Akari, you need to send that to everybody, not just me. So when you're sharing like that, all right, I need just 3 columns, 3 there. Okay. And so we need it to, and if I scoot it over like that, then it's not so big. All right, there we go. All right, so then what I wanted to do is type a T here and a lowercase t there and a T here and a T here. All right. So if you do it as a doc, that's how you can do it. T, little t. And over here we have little t, little t.
This is what I was able to get.
Okay, hold on, because I can't switch screens just yet. All right, oops, that one's wrong. And all right, but so does everybody understand how I'm putting these letters in the box? All right, so the genotypes of the parents were big T, little t. That's one parent, because we're telling what genes the parents have. The other parent is short, so that's the genes that parent has. Then we put it in the Punnett square. And again, with the gametes, I wouldn't worry so much about, let me put that under there, what the gametes are, because the gametes are going to be represented by what you put at the top. Each one of these circles is each one of these boxes is a gamete. Okay, each one of the boxes at the top and on the side are a gamete, so you don't have to really write anything in here. Okay, now what we have to do here is look at what do we have? And I was telling you before, you have 2 capital T, big T, little t's, and you've got, so that's these 2 over here, and then you've got 2 little t's. All right, and then the way we express that as a genotypic ratio is that Those are the genes. So we've expressed the genes. The letters represent the genes. So the ratio is 2 to 2, because there's 2 of each kind. Or we can say it's 50-50. Okay, oops. That's the ratio. So those are our genes. So you want to actually you do want to write this on the line. So let's move them over here. Oh, come on. You do want to put them there. All right, so put that there. Phenotypes. Now we have to say what they look like. So 2 of them are tall. Actually, 2 tall. And 2 short. All right, so when we talk about the phenotype, we're saying, what do they look like? Up here, we're talking about what genes do they have. So we have two heterozygous tall and 2 homozygous short. So let me write that on here too. Yeah, I didn't know your vocabulary. Heterozygous. Oh, oops. Oh. Homozygous. Short. Okay. All right, so now I've done it on the worksheet. So that's how you can do it. Nice of you to join us, Isaiah. All right, do it like this. Okay. All right, so we're reading the box. So there's 2 things you got to do. First you got to read the problem. Then you've got to set up who the parents are in that problem. Identify what they look like genetically. Then when you draw this is called a Punnett square. When you draw the Punnett square, when you put those T's or whatever letters you're using in the boxes, these boxes represent, the top and the side represent the gametes. Okay, those are the gametes. Let's see if I can. I'm going to do this. I am going to highlight the gametes. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, if I can. All right, so come on, highlight. All right, and then I'm going to give a different color for the other one. All right, so if we will have identified our gametes by highlighting them. Come on, highlight. There we go. All right, so I've got the yellow at the top for one parent and the green on the side for the other parent. Okay, so we've identified the gametes, we've drawn the Punnett square, we've done the genotypic ratio, 2 to 2, which is heterozygous tall, 2 heterozygous tall, and 2 homozygous short. And again, heterozygous means both letters are not the same. Homozygous means that both letters are the same. And in this case, they are recessive. Okay, that's the first question. Let's look at the second one. I might do 2 of them with you. Let me move this. See, I can make mine move. Where'd it go? Okay, we're over here. All right, so again, the question is, we've got guinea pigs, and in guinea pigs, black fur. So this is information. Black fur is dominant. They're going to use, so being as black is dominant, they're using a capital B. And white fur is recessive. And they're going to use the lowercase b. So again, do not use B and W. We're going to use capital B and lowercase b. We're going to cross 2 heterozygous black guinea pigs. Okay, heterozygous black. That tells me that they have genes that are not the same. So that's going to be, and sometimes we represent a cross like that with, all right, and it says now 2 heterozygous of both parents look like that. Okay. They are heterozygous. The letters are not the same, which means they have a big B and a little b, both parents. All right, the gametes. And again, we're going to just identify our gametes when we, all right, and y'all see how I'm doing this? I go to table and I pick 3 rows, and then I just make the table a little bit shorter by moving the line over because it doesn't have to be that big. 3 columns, 3 rows is all you need. All right, on the top for our gametes, and maybe I'll just do letters, colors. How about that? Easier than the font. We're gonna make this one, we're gonna make it. So yeah, that's what you should do. Just make your font colors a different color. Oops. Come on, just work with me. Stay that color. All right, and for this side, we're gonna make the font a different color, and that will identify our gametes on the other side. Not a good color. Make it a color that you can see. So let's stick with green. Okay. B, and we're gonna make that green also. Okay, we've done our gametes. Those are our gametes. Then we have to go ahead and fill in the boxes. Okay. Now you don't have to do the boxes different colors, because that takes a lot of time. But we are going to take what we have at the top and the one we have on the side, and that fills that box. Then we're going to do this box. And you usually do the capital letter first. Oh, the one on the top is the lowercase b, and the one on the side is a uppercase b. Same thing over here. Even though we have the lowercase first, we're going to put the capital, and then we're going to put the lowercase. And in this box, we're going to put 2 lowercase. All right, everybody see how I did that? Okay, I take the one at the top and the one on the side, and I put them in the box. Okay. And again, each one of these boxes represents a possible fertilized egg. Okay, the gametes are at the top. Those are 4 separate. So we're taking 1 from mom, 1 from dad, and we're making 1 fertilized egg. But there are 4 different possibilities. So this box always represents 4 possibilities. So that's the gametes. And again, I'm going to move this under gametes so that we know that we've already answered gametes. All right, so now we have to look at what genes do we have. We've got 1, big B, little b. We've got, and let me just put a 1 over here, 1 of those. And then we have 2 of these. Oops, hold on. I did that wrong. And none of y'all stopped me. I have 2 big B's. Now we have 2 big B, 1 big B, 2 little b's. And then we have 1 little bit. Okay. So that is what our genotypic ratio is. It is 1. So we can, the other way we write this is going to be 1 to 2 to 1. That's the ratio. Okay. So we've identified that we have 1 homozygous black fur. We have 2 heterozygous black fur, and we have 1 that is white fur. All right, so now phenotypes down here, that's going to be different. It's going to, because these other 2 are dominant. Chris popped out on me again. All right. You're back. All right, so because these 2 are dominant, you have to remember that heterozygous is also dominant. So down here, we're going to have 3, and we're going to describe what they look like. Okay, we're not worried about the letters, we're worried about what do they look like. 3 black fur and 1 white. And we're always has to add up to 4 because we got 4 boxes. Okay, so you see the genotypic ratio and the phenotypic ratio are not going to always be the same. This one is 1 to 2 to 1, and this one is 3 to 1. Okay. Anybody got a question? You want me to go back over it? Because I'm not going to, you have to do the rest. There's only 3 more problems for you to do. No, there's 8 problems altogether. Okay. So color code your gametes so that you can say you've identified your gametes. Put your box underneath the word gametes. So that's your Punnett square. So we're looking at, these are the things that you have to do. You get credit for doing all these steps. You have to write what the parent genotypes are. So that's what we do on the first line. Then we have to list the gametes for each parent. So that's what we're doing in each box. Each box, we're listing what the gametes are. We separated those letters, put them in a box of their own. Those are your gametes. Third, it says complete the Punnett square. That means fill in all the boxes. Fourth, you need to state the genotypic ratio. So that's what we did for this one. It was 1. And to do that, you are reading what is in each box. How many of each letter combination do I have in each box? And it always has to add up to 4. So this is 1 to 2 to 1, that's 4. Down here it's 3 to 1, that's 4. So you have read what's in each box. Okay. All right, so I'm going to stop and let you work on that. So now there's 2 worksheets that you have to work on. I think I have to stop sharing to go back to the other one. Before I leave, are there any questions about this one? I don't see anything in the chat about questions. Questions. All right. So again, you have to be able to read each box. They tell you what's dominant. They tell you what's recessive. Then they tell you who you are crossing. Okay. And this one, you're going to cross a homozygous dominant individual. Dominant means that your earlobes are attached. Homozygous means they got 2 genes for dominant, for attached earlobes. With a heterozygous individual, for free earlobes, like I have free earlobes. Attached means that your earlobe goes all the way. You don't have a dangly part. Okay. This person is going to have a capital letter and a short letter, a capital A and a recessive letter. That's how you're going to do that one. Okay, so you got to read the problem, set up the problem, draw the Punnett square. All right, I'm going to close this one and then go back to the one that you had before that some of you still haven't done. Where is it? Let me share this one. And it's just about time to go, but I'm going to go back and show this one too. All right, while I'm getting that one, there is a possibility that I will, and I hate to say that to this class because y'all just plain won't show up. There's a possibility that I have to be out of town on Thursday, in which case you're going to work asynchronously, which means work from home. So that means that you have to finish the worksheet by Thursday. Some of you still haven't done this worksheet. All right, again, you don't have to click on these links. The information for that is already in the assignment box. So when it says read, you're getting that information from the box. And all you had to do was put this sentence is out of order. Put it in order. Same thing with this one. It's out of order, and you can know what the order is by reading the box on the assignment. And then you have to circle the answers on this one. Same thing with this one. If you read the box on the assignment page, you don't have to click on any of these links. You'll be able to put this in order of 1st through 5th. They've already put this one as 5th for you. You just have to arrange the other 4. And then down here, you had to do what we were just doing. And this one, you don't have to identify anything. All you have to do is figure out what goes in the boxes. Now, the first 3, they've put the gametes in place for you. The rest of them, you have to figure out if this is what's in the box, what were the gametes? What did I start with to get what's in the box? And some of the boxes are empty, might have one empty spot. So based on once you figure out what they had to be, then you can figure out what's missing. Okay, but you don't have to identify, you don't have to do anything else with this other than fill in the boxes. All right, so that being said, again, I may not be here on Thursday. I may be. So check your announcement at the top. There'll be an announcement to say, show up, log in for class, or work asynchronous. That will be the message on Thursday morning, because I might have to go out of town. On the person I have to pick up, their doctors are changing their mind. So I might not have to do that until another date. But right now it's scheduled that they are coming out of the hospital on Thursday and I have to go get them. So again, check your announcement on Thursday to know whether you have to sign in to Zoom or not. Okay, if I'm going to be here, you sign in. If I'm not going to be here, I'll tell you work from home. Okay. All right. Have a good one. Any questions before you go? You have a question for number 3 on the other paper? Let me see if I can pull that back up without question number 3. All right, go ahead. Ask your question. All right, let me look at that. You want me to give you the answer? All right, let's see. Homozygous, yeah. And after a while, you'll get used to looking at the fact that when you draw the box, you'll be able to predict just by looking at who you're crossing what your results are going to be. So you've got everybody has to be there's going to be boxes where they're because you have dominance and only one recessive, only one of them is going to end up being heterozygous. Okay. All right, it is 1:30 and I got folks that are trying to log in for the next class. So. All righty.
I was trying to fill the new one out, the ones you put on there.
Uh-huh.
Can you? Is there a way you can go that and I can like screenshot it real quick?
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can't. Yeah, I have to stop sharing this page and reshare the next one. Go back. Okay. There's got to be a better way to do this. There we go. All right, real quick. I'm going to insert to table. And I'm just going to leave it big for now. Well, actually, no, let me go ahead and. Where are you? Come down here. And you're going to have, I got too many rows on this. But anyway, I'm going to put a capital A here. And because one parent is homozygous for having attached earlobes and the other one is heterozygous. So it's going to look like this. Okay, which means in this box, we're going to have a capital A and a capital A. And the one underneath is going to be a capital A and a lowercase a. Yes, I know what time it is, but somebody asked a question. So if you feel the need to go, you're free to go. But I'm going to answer this question, and you better have the right answer if you're trying to leave. All right, so that's what it's going to look like. Okay, so actually, they're all going to have attached earlobes, except these are going to be heterozygous and 2 are going to be homozygous. And that's all I'm going to say. Okay. All righty. Bye, folks. Like I said, folks are coming in from the next class already, so I got to go. And you got to go to your next class. All right. See you Thursday, maybe.